Hello everyone. Good morning. Yes, so today we are going to discuss the part related to unification of Germany. So, about me, as my name is Harshvardhan Singh. I did my graduation from engineering. I completed my masters in economics and I'm in this field of civil services as an educator for last 8 years. Earlier I was selected as an intelligence bureau officer. Those who haven't taken subscription of Unacademy, please take the subscription. It is the most beneficiary thing for you. Unacademy is having more than 50,000 courses. You can opt for it. We have two types of subscription. One is plus subscription, other is iconic. You will get the detail on our website or in our app. When you're going to opt for subscription, then you can use my code HARSHV10. You will get flat 10% discount. Flat 10% discount. Okay. So, as we have discussed in the last lecture, that how the process of unification of Germany started. As I mentioned, there was no such a concept known as Germany because Germany or German speaking area was divided into number of native states. Yes, and the most important native state was Prussia. And at the same time, most number of German speaking states were under Austrian dominance. Clear? So we mentioned that the unification process started with the cultural movement. In the last lecture, we already discussed this cultural movement created awakening. Yes, here I'm going to write. This cultural movement resulted into awakening of the masses. Awakening related to awakening related to that is feeling of oneness. Clear? So in the last lecture we discussed this thing. The next important part we discussed in the last lecture that is related to another aspect, that is economic integration of Germany. Economic integration of Germany, and we mentioned that sovereign. Yes, economic integration of Germany through sovereign. Zollverein was a custom union and all we discussed in the last lecture. Clear? So now Germany, Germany was culturally integrated, economically integrated, and politically also integrated. How? We mentioned in the last lecture, that is German Parliament. It's also known as Frankfurt Parliament. This is a initiative taken by liberals. Clear? So, and one more thing, this is a unification from below. Unification from below. We already discussed what exactly the unification from below in the last lecture. So these are the phases of unification of Germany. That is cultural integration, economic integration, political integration from the below, unification from below. But this idea of unification was completely rejected by Prussian monarch. Clear? So till this point we already discussed things. So it was a quick recap of last lecture. Now in today's lecture we are going to discuss the another important aspect of unification of Germany, that is the role played by Bismarck. Yes, Bismarck was a person who advised his king not to accept the offers of liberal, though it is a lucrative, this offer that Prussian king to become a king of Germany. So though this offer is lucrative, but this person will become the constitutional monarch. And what exactly? Prussian monarch, that is Prussian king, will be a puppet in the hands of liberals. So this idea was rejected by Bismarck, and Bismarck's advice followed by Prussian king. What exactly his idea was that? Why Bismarck opposes this idea? Because Bismarck doesn't want unification from below. He completely negated the idea of unification from below. What he wants? Unification from top. Why it is so? Because let's take example. If we consider the unification from below, what will be the consequences of it? We are going to discuss now. Just imagine, as this is the concept, that is unification from below. Let's take this concept. As Prussia is German speaking area, other German speaking areas were there, native states were there, some under Austrian dominance. Clear? So this is the area of German speaking state. So right now they are quite inspired by the idea of nationalism. Yes, quite inspired by the idea of nationalism. So gather together and form a confederation known as Germany. Suppose this is the case. This is the case that native state, for some reason, basically the reason of nationalism, they gather together and form Germany. What if in future, if they will have a divergent views, then that leads to chaos, then that leads to anarchy, and maybe these states wants to secede. Yes, these states want to secede. So if it happened, don't you think it will be a loose confederation? Yes, definitely it will act as a loose confederation. So that's why Bismarck opposes the idea of unification of Germany from below. He doesn't want Germanization of Prussia. Remember this word. These words are very important. What he said, he doesn't want. What he doesn't want? Germanization. What he doesn't want? Germanization of Prussia. He doesn't want. What he wants? Prussianization of Germany. Clear? So he negated the idea of unification from below. And why it was so? Because it will emerge as a loose confederation, and Bismarck doesn't want Germany to be a weak country in future, because he wants Germany to play most important role in world affairs. Clear? So what he wants, Prussianization of Germany. What exactly it is? Let me explain. Suppose this is Prussia. There are other German speaking areas present here. So what you want? Expansion of Prussia. Covered everything. Now it is Prussia. Expansion of Prussia. Name it Prussia. Expansion of it, and now all the states are under Prussia. So here it's Prussia and just rename it Germany. That is Prussianization of Germany. Clear? So if it happened, then what will be the result? It will act as a strong, it will act as strong federation. Clear? And this is known as unification from above, or unification from top. So how it can be achieved? How the Prussianization of Germany can be achieved? That is also the question, how it is possible. For that, Bismarck adopted a policy of blood and iron. Blood and iron. What it symbolized? Blood and iron. Don't you think it symbolized war? Yes, don't you think so? It is symbolized war. Yes, exactly. So his idea was basically without war, unification of Germany not possible. So his idea was clear, policy of blood and iron. Clear? So if you want to wage a war, consider, if you want to wage a war against any particular country, then what is the essential thing required? That your army should be strong enough. But till now, whatever we discussed, till now, have you ever heard or have you ever read that Prussia played an important role in international affairs? That means Prussia defeated Austria, Prussia defeated France, like that. No, Prussia was not a strong player at that time. So how it is possible for Bismarck to follow the policy of blood and war, to follow the policy of war? It's not at all possible. Then, and as I said earlier, Bismarck was not just a master. You can consider Bismarck as a university. He designed the policy, and other player act according to his policy. Clear? So he was a wise man. He realizes if you want to pursue the policy of blood and iron, what is required? Army. Strong army should be there. So he started strengthening the army. He started strengthening the army. Liberals started opposing this move. Liberals started opposing this move. Bismarck negated them. If resistance is more, then he killed them. Clear, the silenced. So it was a case. So he negated liberals, he threatened them. Clear? So it was the case. Second, he negated the parliament. And why it is so? Because parliament was basically dominated by bourgeois, that is liberals. So that's why he negated them. And why he negated? Because he knew that if he is going to take the permission from parliament, if he is going to take the permission from liberals, then it will be a distance thing for him to make Germany a strong military power. Clear? So he negated them, and finally, when liberals realizes that Bismarck is not going to stop. Bismarck is going to continue his policy. Liberals started supporting Bismarck. Okay? Bismarck always have one belief related to German speaking area. He has a strong belief related to German speaking area, and his belief he expressed in number of ways, and one of the most important way of that time a statement was that Germany was too small for both Austria and Prussia, so one has to leave. And Bismarck said that Austria has to leave because Austria was empire. And what Prussia want? Prussia want to be a nation state. Prussia want to be a nation state. That means it should belong to nationality. And how nationality is there? It is a feeling of oneness. And this feeling of oneness can be emerged through various forms, and language is one among them. Okay, so they said that Germany is too small for both Austria and Prussia. One has to leave, and Austria has to leave. Clear till this point? Okay. Next. As I mentioned earlier, Bismarck started the policy of blood and iron. For that, what he did, he started strengthening army. Clear? So army strength is increasing day by day. And I have also mentioned that Bismarck was a wise man. And there is a huge difference between wise man and a foolish one. And that difference is wise man is having sense. Clear? So Bismarck was having sense. So what he did, after strengthening army, he wanted to test, he wanted to check his strength, and for that reason, Bismarck started asking the question related to Schleswig and Holstein. So what exactly the issue of Schleswig and Holstein? These were the provinces of Denmark. So it's common sense for you why this person Bismarck asked the provinces of Denmark. Yes, am I right or wrong? Bismarck wants Germany. Germany is for German speaking people. Then why these Bismarck want these two provinces? Answer is very simple, because in these two provinces, majority speaks German as their language. Yes, majority speaks German as their language. So Bismarck claimed over these two territories. Bismarck said that the people from Schleswig and Holstein wants to be a part of wants to be part of Germany, but it was highly opposed by Denmark. It was highly opposed by Denmark, and Denmark is using oppressive force. So such kind of propaganda started by Bismarck over the issue of Schleswig and Holstein. When Bismarck asked to surrender the territory of Schleswig and Holstein, Bismarck asked to surrender the territory of Schleswig and Holstein Yes, sorry for intervention. Sorry. Bismarck asked Denmark to surrender these territories. So what do you think? What do you think? What will be the answer from the side of Denmark? It should be like this. Yes, please take this. It's yours. We are just acted as a protector. Is that the case? Of course not. It was a territory of Denmark. But Bismarck asked. So of course Denmark refused it. Don't you think so that Bismarck is a smart guy as well? Bismarck knew that Denmark is going to deny that, and Bismarck wants what Bismarck wants? Bismarck wants the bone of contention between Denmark and Germany, and that bone of contention means Bismarck wants a reason for fight, reason for war, and that reason was there in the form of Schleswig and Holstein. Clear? How smart he was. Now, Bismarck took help from Austria. Austria? Why it is so? Here the diplomacy played an important role. Bismarck asked Austria to help them, and in return, they said that we are going to divide this territory of Schleswig and Holstein among Prussia and Austria. That is the case. Another important aspect, that is Austria is a German speaking empire. So there are two reasons. First is German speaking empire. Another, it was promised that this territory is going to divide among themselves. So Austria supported this idea of supporting Bismarck against Denmark. So the war with Denmark. So Denmark versus Prussia and Austria. Prussia and Austria on one side, Denmark on other side. And of course, Austria was a mighty power, Prussia was a newly emerging power. These two powers combinedly defeated Denmark. So defeat of Denmark. Now, after defeat, Schleswig and Holstein became a part of these two countries. Clear? But instead of dividing these two areas among themselves, Bismarck suggested to jointly rule this German-speaking area, jointly ruled by Austria and Prussia. Clear? So what exactly the issue of Schleswig and Holstein? Yes? Is that clear? Everyone? Good. Next thing. In 1866, just after 3 years, 1863, issue of Schleswig and Holstein was there. In 1866, there was a Battle of Sedova, and this is a star mark. Remember, this Battle of Sedova is there in both unification, process. Yes, it's common in Italy as well as it's common in Germany. Do not get confused. Okay. So, Battle of Sedova. Why this battle started? What's the problem? The Battle of Sedova was fought among Austria and Prussia. Why? Why? Just imagine in 1863, Austria and Prussia combinedly defeated Denmark. Then how it is possible that just after 3 years they were fighting against each other? Clear? So reason is basically very clear, and that reason was basically issue of control over Schleswig and Holstein. As we mentioned, this area was jointly ruled by there was no country, Prussia and Austria. Don't you think so? If you are going to assign the same work for two people, they are going to fight. Yes, because both of them are having different opinion and views to do that work. So, if they are not going to fight, then one more thing should be there. There is a conflict among themselves and one person is going to lead. So it is a normal phenomenon. Bismarck was too smart. He knew that. If we are going to rule Schleswig and Holstein jointly with Austria, it will be acted as a bone of contention. It will be the reason for battle with Austria. He was very wise. People think that this person came later. No, this person was there. He designed everything. The players are playing according to his rule. So he was too smart. So in this battle of Sedova, Prussia took help from Italy against Austria. And why it was so? Because in Hindi it is mentioned Dushman ka dushman dost hota. Here what exactly it is? Prussia was the enemy of Austria. At the same time, Italy was the enemy of Austria. Why it is so? Because the Italian speaking area was under Austrian dominance. So these two made a treaty and they fought together. Clear? So Prussia took help from Italy to fight against Austria. Prussia is right now a powerful country. Prussia is a powerful country and Italy is emerging power. But because of fighting on the both front, Austria was not in a position to tackle them, and the resultant of that is defeat of Austria. Is the defeat of Austria. And after this defeat of Austria, that leads to Treaty of Prague. Treaty of Prague is very important from both unification process. This Treaty of Prague led to unification of northern Germany, that is known as Northern German Confederation. Clear? But here Bismarck played an important role. He showed that he is true diplomat, or we can say a true diplomat. He doesn't want enmity with Austria for any other struggle or future. In future, he doesn't want any enmity. So that's why Treaty of Prague they signed as a friendship treaty. That means no obligation, no humiliation, no war, repression. No war, repression. Then what they want? Their idea was very clear. What they want? They want Schleswig and Holstein to be a part of Germany. So through this treaty, or through this Battle of Sedova, unification of North Germany accomplished. Unification of North Germany accomplished. Clear? Any doubt? Any doubt? Yes. Tell me one thing. Tell me one thing, that as we can see with the naked eyes, that Prussia was expanding herself. Yes, Prussia started expanding herself. Prussia wants to become Germany. That means Prussia wants Prussianization of Germany. That means right now Prussia is becoming a powerful country. They defeated Austria. They defeated Denmark. Don't you think so? The other neighboring countries were under fear from Prussia. Clear? And one of the important neighbor of Prussia was France. So what do you think? What was France doing at that time? What was France doing at that time? As you can see, we all can see with the naked eyes that Germany is going to be a reality. Prussia is expanding herself. She defeated the mighty power like Austria. What about France? Were they blind? Or were they neglected everything? Or were they want to be a neutral country in the world affairs? Clear? So this thing we are going to discuss in the next lecture. So thank you very much for your valuable time. And once again, if you are having any queries, any question, you can ask. Feel free to ask the question. Yes, and this is my Telegram channel. You can join me there. That is Unacademy _ Harsh10. Here I am going to mention Unacademy _ Harsh V10. Clear? Those who haven't taken subscription yet, please subscribe to our channel and use my code to get a 10% discount. Thank you very much for your valuable time. Have a good day.